What's going on, Imperials? It's Emperor Cubone here. Face reveal! Yeah, I know. For some people it will be, but don't touch that dial, because we've got something important to talk about, and that is the Sinnoh region. You might have seen, or you might have not, but Bird Keeper Toby has started a series of tags where he's talking about his memories of the Sinnoh region. It was largely the period of his life surrounding the Sinnoh region, but that's fine, because we can talk about that too. He did start it as a tag video, and he tagged me in it as well, so I figured I should do it and pass it along so that everyone in the Pokemon community can get a chance to talk about their memories of the Sinnoh region. Now, obviously, we can't talk about the Sinnoh region without mentioning the lead up to the Sinnoh region, because it was one of the most exciting and hyped up points in Pokemon history that I can recall, at least. Because the games were delayed, obviously, but that made the lead up to it that much more enticing. Any little hint that we could get, any cameo from a Pokemon in a movie, was so exciting. And kind of opposite to Toby's experience, I knew very much that I, myself, was interested in Pokemon. I still loved it, but everyone else around me stopped talking about it, and even the television show that changed to a different channel that we didn't get. So I was just out of the loop, I guess. I mean, there wasn't any way for me to consume Pokemon because the TV show was the main way of doing it. I bought some cards and toys and things, but I never had a Game Boy system or any way to actually play the games. The closest I got was when I went to my cousin's house and played Pokemon Stadium, but I never had any of that. We didn't really have the money for that sort of thing at the time, so I didn't get to experience Pokemon for a while in my life because nobody else was talking about it, and I didn't have any other way to consume it, so I just kind of moved on. That is until the Hoenn anime started showing on Cartoon Network, where I was, and so I was able to watch it again and got really excited for it, and then they started laying these breadcrumbs for, oh, here's a Munchlax, here's a Bonsly, and it was so exciting. The Lucario movie came out, and you're like, well, this is a new Pokemon. And then eventually, finally, I think I was in middle school, I know that, and my class went on a trip to Washington, D.C. Now, my family had already gone there. We visited my aunt who lives there, and they said, we don't need to pay all that much to go with your class. We've already been there 2 or 3 times. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I understand. You took me there so I wouldn't have to pay to go with my class, but whatever. Eventually, I used my own money that I had saved up, because I'm notoriously frugal and don't spend a lot of money, but I save it and use it for things that I really want to buy, like this DS that I bought specifically to play this Diamond version. I was so excited to play this. And I actually, at the same time, bought a copy of Sapphire for my brother to play in this port, and the GBA port, and we kind of shared it back and forth. I probably didn't share it as much as I should have because I was so interested in playing this copy of Diamond version that I put the most hours on for any one file of Pokemon. There's over 900 hours of this copy of Diamond. I might have played Soul Silver more, but I restarted that game dozens of times, so there's no way to actually tell. I didn't keep track of the hours or anything. But as far as continuous save file, this is the longest that I have of any Pokemon game, and probably will be to this day, because I still boot it up. I probably shouldn't have, but I took this to school when my class was on their 8th grade trip, or I think it was 7th, no, it was probably 8th grade. Anyway, I took it to school, probably shouldn't have, but I played it, and I was so excited. I loved Piplup. I saw Piplup beforehand, I saw the starters, and penguins are my favorite animal, obviously. I have the little plush Empoleon over there. He's my favorite Pokemon of all time, and I relished choosing him. It was so perfect and beautiful. I do love Turtwig and Torterra, but there's no competition. When my favorite animal becomes a Pokemon, I'm picking that one. So when I first got the game that night, it was at nighttime, obviously, in the game, and I was running around the first few routes, and I probably stayed up a lot later than I should have. I finally got to have the experience that so many other kids did back in the day when they would stay up under the covers and play their Game Boy, except this time it was my DS, and I got a Starly and a Shinx, and I was so excited. I mean, these are Pokemon that I carried all the way to the end of the game, and they were right there at the beginning for me to pick up at the start, and it was amazing. I just remember going through all the towns and thinking, this is so amazing, the 3D graphics are so cool, and it wasn't like coming out at you 3D, but the trees, they changed perspective, the buildings, you could walk around it and the angles would shift. It was amazing. It was so much better than my brother's stupid Sapphire version. I'm just kidding. But I did pick Diamond because Dialga looked way cooler to me than Palkia, and the fact that it was over time instead of space was cooler to me as well. But I didn't really connect to the internet much. I didn't do battling or even trading. That wasn't until the 3DS where I was more readily available. But I did do some trading. My cousin traded me a foreign Monferno. He'd already bred it and got other Chimchar, I guess. But since he did that, I put that foreign Monferno in the daycare in Salacian Town and another Chimchar that was from the United States, and I tried to Masuda method a shiny Chimchar. And I hatched so many eggs, and to this day, I still don't have a shiny Chimchar. I've tried it in more recent games, and I've gotten tons of shinies. I've gotten shiny Torchic, shiny Skiddo, I think. No, that was a random encounter. Anyway, I've done Masuda method since then. Shiny Honedge was one that I Masuda method, and shiny Piplup even. But those were in the 3DS games. On Diamond, I still haven't gotten a shiny egg hatch, but I did use all of those Chimchars that I had to trade over to Soul Silver to get all the good Pokemon off of there and then delete them forever. So I guess there's that. But speaking of shinies, on Diamond version, I found my first ever shiny on this game. Well, okay, actually, it's not a happy story because I found a shiny Rhydon in the post-game desert area, and I accidentally killed it with a crit Razor Leaf. But my first shiny that I caught, I also found on this Diamond version, because in the resort area at the end of the game, I think it's the resort area that is called, I found a shiny Ariados. And I knew it was shiny because it was purple and blue, and then all the sparks came off, and this is funny. It was, some company was coming over at the time, but I thought, I can't, this is a shiny, I can't turn it off. So I just left it on the charger in my room, and I came out and said hi to the company, and then I'm like, oh no, I gotta use the bathroom real bad. And then I went and I got the DS and went to the bathroom, and I stayed in there for like 20 minutes because I couldn't catch this shiny Ariados, but I finally got it. And it was just so funny to me that I had to make up this excuse because I was glad to have the company, but it's my first shiny catch. I gotta get it. So please excuse me. I didn't tell them that, obviously. And I was so excited, but I couldn't tell them that I caught a shiny in the bathroom because they wouldn't know what that meant, and I would have been put in a mental hospital. But I do remember there was another time before that where I was playing the game and it went down into the red. My DS went into the red, and so I'm like, oh, I should put it on the charger. And I was sitting in the living room and I was charging it and I was playing it, and I was playing it for so long that it went back down into the red again. I mean, that must have been hours that I just sat there from red to red in the same spot playing this game. And I remember I was down below Hearthome in that swampy route area, and that was where my Staraptor evolved. And I was so excited, but I realized when it went back to red, I'm like, oh wow, I've been playing this forever. But it felt like no time at all because it was just so fun. I remember early on in the game, I caught a Badoo, and I was going to evolve it into Roselia, but it took forever because I didn't look up how to evolve anybody or anything, and it's with happiness, obviously, and I guess I had let it faint too many times or something, but it was just not working out, and finally, at like the late 20s, it evolved into Roselia, and I thought, well, better late than never, I guess, but I didn't keep it on the team or anything. I don't actually remember my first Hall of Fame. I know there was Empoleon, Staraptor, Luxray, I had a Weavile on there, and an Onyx, I think? But I don't remember the last one. No, of course, Rapidash. It was the only fire type in the game. What am I thinking? Obviously, I had a Rapidash, and it taught it Solar Beam, and that was pretty cool. I do remember having a lot of trouble beating the Elite Four at the time. It was actually Lucian that gave me the most trouble, or Lucian, whatever you want to call him, the psychic guy. He gave me the most trouble because I was stuck on him. I'd battled him over and over again. I'd beaten the first three, but I saved right before I battled him, and I couldn't do it. I remember I was at my great grandmother's house after school, and I just kept trying to beat him over and over again, and it wasn't working. So I thought, okay, I'm going to bite the bullet, and I went in and I lost. I mean, I tried to win, but obviously I lost, and so I said, okay, fine, we're going to move on. We got the experience from beating all the other guys. We're going to keep that and level up in the wild. And eventually I did beat him, and I did beat Cynthia, and I became the champion of the Sinnoh region and moved on to the post-game area where I spent so much time. And you got to understand, this is diamond version. This isn't even platinum, but I was in the resort area so much, and you couldn't even customize your house then, I don't think. I'm pretty sure that's just a platinum exclusive. So I just was in the resort area training because that's where the highest level wild Pokemon were. And I would just train and train and train until I got Empoleon up to level 100. It was my first level 100 Pokemon ever because it was my first Pokemon game that I owned ever, and I felt so good about it. There was then Staraptor and Luxray were level 100. I caught a Tyranitar that I leveled all the way up to 100. A Donphan. Honestly, they're not even that high level, but it was the highest in the game, so that's what I did. There's much better ways to do it nowadays. And I remember trying to catch Mesprit and Cresselia was pretty difficult for me, but there was that tracker on the Poketch where you could see what route they were on. And so I would go to Route 102, and I would, go up and down and wait until they were in the same route as me, and then I would go and try and use a quick ball or something. But finally, I got them both. I never did get to do the Shaman event or the Darkrai event. I know my cousin traded me an Arceus that I could do the Sinjo Ruins thing in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but I don't think I ever got to do the special events for Diamond version in that way. But that just means that there's more for me to do on the game, right? One day, maybe I'll get to those things. I also remember catching Giratina on this game was when I went to visit a college for the first time. And I should have been, paying attention to things around me, but instead I was in the dorm room of some guy that I knew. We were staying there, and I was just trying to catch Giratina. I was going through the those ruins that the door changes every time, and I finally got to it, and I was throwing, Dusk Ball after Dusk Ball, and then I finally got it, and it was so good. And I did end up eventually going to that college. I can't say that it's because of Giratina that I had fond memories of it, but who knows. I did eventually buy Pearl later, and then way later I bought Platinum. When I say I bought Pearl later, I mean this is also several years afterwards. I only bought Pearl because I didn't want to restart this Diamond version, and then I bought Platinum just because I figured I should, and because I never actually played it before. A lot of people say that Platinum was the definitive version, even though the sales don't bear that out, because I guess most people played it on an emulator or something, which is dumb, because if you like the game, then buy it, but that's a whole different topic. So now I have actually all of the mainline Gen 4 games, because I brought Soul Silver, my brother brought Heart Gold, and I let him play Pearl recently as well. So I'm really excited to play Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond. I'm gonna buy Brilliant Diamond, obviously. Got to stick with my boy Dialga here, but I'm really excited for these games. I know that most people, including myself, are more excited for the Legends Arceus game because it's something brand new that we've never seen before. But I do feel like I'm gonna have a great time going back to the Sinnoh region and trying to experience it again. Because like I said, I brought this thing to school and played it, and there wasn't a lot of people to talk about it then, but by the time Black and White rolled around, there were many people bringing their DSs to school, and we all got to talk about it. The quarterback came up and said, "Is that a lightning zebra? That's awesome!" And he's right. Blitzel's awesome. But that couldn't have happened unless Gen 4 brought in so many people. I mean, the DS was Nintendo's best-selling system at that point. And it's crazy that so many people got back into Pokemon in that way. Gen 4 was a big success, both in the games, in the anime, and everything else. And so they wouldn't have been able to have people try out Black and White so much if Gen 4 hadn't been the best. In fact, it was the number 3 best-selling Pokemon games ever up until this past year when Sword and Shield surpassed them. And again, that's probably just because the Switch is selling so great. But if the first versions of these are anything to go off of, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl will also sell really well for people like me who want to go back and revisit their nostalgia, or something that I'm even more excited about is people that weren't old enough at the time to experience it will have new memories. They get to re-experience it, or experience it for the first time, but understand why we liked it so much. Or for the people that weren't even born yet, that are kids now, they'll get to experience it for themselves firsthand, and that's a great thing if you ask me. Also, Gliscor is really cool. I know that's just random, but he's one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, so had to throw that in there. Gliscor's awesome, and Gen 4 gave us Gliscor. Okay, so this is a tag, and the goal is to get it out to as many people as possible so that everyone can do it. Random people, if you've never made a video before, you can just sit yourself down in front of a camera and talk about the Sinnoh region and how much you loved it, or maybe you hated it. Who knows? That could be a memory from Sinnoh. You didn't like it, but you might as well share it, right? So for me to tag other people, I will tag my friend Sturcules Plays. I'm sure he's got some good memories of the Sinnoh region. Since the goal is to get it out to as many people as possible, we'll also tag Mystic Umbreon. He didn't do the last one I did, but that's fine. He's a busy guy. But then again, you have a long time before Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl come out, so there's no rush on this. You can do these Sinnoh memories any time before the games come out, I'm assuming, or even after. Who knows? I'll also tag Hoops and Hip Hop, I guess. I've never actually worked with the guy or anything, but he makes some pretty good videos, so maybe he'll be interested in talking about this, or maybe he's already done it, because Bird Keeper Toby invited pretty much everyone to do it. Anyone who watched the video, he said, was effectively tagged. So go ahead and make it, whoever you are, wherever you are, just do it. Just make a Sinnoh Memories video, and we'll be excited to talk about this region before Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl come out. I know some people are still hesitant about the games, but I feel like they're going to be fun. And if nothing else, that's one step closer for us to get to Gen 9. So there's that. What are your memories of the Sinnoh region? And please let me know, did you pick Diamond? Did you pick Pearl? Who was your starter? What's your favorite gym from Sinnoh? All of that, let me know down in the comments. And I gotta say, thank you to everyone. The channel has been exploding recently. It's been blowing up, and we are so close to 90,000 subscribers, which means we are so close to 100,000 subscribers. So please, if you like this video, well, leave a like, but also share it, and please subscribe and become an Imperial today. Don't you want me to have that big silver play button? I know you do. I'll be able to put it up here somewhere, and you all can see it in my videos. It'll be great, and you'll be the ones that got it for me. I didn't do it, you all did. And actually, I just thought they're gonna probably give us a map of the Sinnoh region, like we got with Let's Go, and even Ultra Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield. So that'll be really cool. I'll probably put it up over here. That's out of frame, you can't see it, but I'll get to look at the Sinnoh region map every single day. That'll be great. I can't wait for it. So please subscribe and like this video and become an Imperial today, and we'll see you around next time.